Stop right there. Before you scroll, let me ask you something important. Do you think being good keeps you safe? Do you believe kindness protects you? That generosity creates loyalty? That honesty earns respect? If you said yes, you're about to face a hard truth. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that being good means being safe. But here's reality. Goodness is like fire. It doesn't just warm, it can burn everything you've built. Niccolò Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He watched good leaders fall, kind rulers destroyed, and generous people betrayed by those they helped. He wrote it all down. Today, I'll share the hidden truth. Why goodness, when blind, destroys you. You'll see why kindness often makes you weak, why people don't respect it, but exploit it, and how to turn it into real strength. Remember, I'm not asking you to be evil, I'm asking you to be smart. In a world of wolves, being a sheep gets you eaten alive. Drop this in the comments. I choose strategic goodness. From today, no more blind kindness, only strategic goodness. In this video, we'll reveal why being too good makes you vulnerable and how to flip it into power. Let's start with truth number 1. Goodness as exposure. Think about the kindest person you know. Are they respected, or just the one people call when they need something? Being good makes you predictable. People know you won't fight back, won't say no. You become the doormat, the friend who always pays, the family member who always sacrifices. I once knew a manager who always helped his team, covered for them, put them first. Guess what? He was passed over for promotion. Because nice people don't look like leaders, they look like servants. When you never set boundaries, people cross them. When you never show teeth, people assume you don't have any. Machiavelli said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." One must be both. But most people try to survive as sheep, and that's why they keep getting hurt. Drop this in the comments. I protect my energy. Truth number 2, the generosity trap. The more you give, the less people value it. At first, generosity feels amazing. People thank you, praise you, admire you, but soon your giving becomes normal. They stop appreciating, they start expecting. And when you finally say no, you're suddenly the selfish one. Think of parents who always buy gifts for their kids. At first, the child is grateful. Soon, it's just normal. Say no once, and the kid calls them unfair. The same happens with friends. Pay for dinner once, it's kindness. Pay every time, it's expected. And the day you don't, you're the bad guy. This is the trap. Your giving becomes your identity. People get addicted to it, and like addicts, they get angry when the supply stops. Psychology calls this hedonic adaptation. Humans quickly get used to good things. What was once special becomes normal. What was once generous becomes expected. Nobody claps when you stay late at work anymore. But the one day you leave on time, you're not committed. In relationships, always compromise, and it becomes expected. Say no once, and you're difficult. Machiavelli wrote, "Benefits should be given slowly so they taste better. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it." Drop this in the comments. I give strategically. Truth number 3, the mask of virtue. Sometimes people use being good as a mask. They want to look moral, look kind, look generous, but inside they feel resentful and weak. This mask eventually cracks because no one can fake goodness forever. Real power is not in blind kindness, but in controlled kindness. When you choose when to be good and when to say no, people start respecting you. Strategic goodness makes you both the lion and the fox. Kind, but not weak. Helpful, but not used. Respectful, but never a doormat. So remember, goodness without strategy makes you weak. Generosity without limits makes you invisible. Virtue without strength makes you fake. Be kind, but be smart. Be good, but with boundaries. In a world of wolves, only strategic goodness keeps you alive. Drop your final affirmation in the comments. I use goodness as power. Society cares more about appearances than reality. People don't care if you're truly good inside, they care if you look good outside. They don't judge your heart, they judge your image. This means, to keep respect and power, you must wear the mask of goodness while keeping control underneath. Look at successful people around you. Do you think they reached the top by being nice to everyone? Number. They were smart. They showed goodness when it helped, and strength when it mattered. They smiled in public, but made hard choices in private. The truth is, the appearance of virtue is more powerful than virtue itself. This doesn't mean you're fake. It means you're strategic. Think of a doctor who cuts you open to save your life. From the outside, it looks cruel. But in reality, it saves you. Real leaders understand this. Sometimes being truly good means looking bad for a while. Sometimes helping people means saying no. Sometimes protecting your team means making unpopular choices. The mask of virtue is about timing, knowing when to show softness and when to show steel. Most people get this wrong. They show weakness to enemies and strength to friends. Smart people do the opposite. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are." Perception shapes reality. If people see you as weak, you become weak. If they see you as strong, you become strong. Drop this in the comments. I control my image. Now, truth number 4, the economics of power. Everything you do has a cost. Every yes, every favor, every time you help others instead of yourself, you pay a price. Most good people forget this. They give until they're empty. Then they feel tired, bitter, and used. But your time, energy, and resources are limited. When you spend them carelessly, you lose yourself. Unlimited kindness doesn't make you strong, it makes you drained. And when you're drained, you can't help anyone. Think of airplane safety instructions. You're told to wear your own oxygen mask first, then help others. Why? Because if you pass out, you can't save anyone. Life is the same. If you exhaust yourself, you become a burden instead of an asset. Smart people protect their energy. This isn't selfish, it's survival. I learned this the hard way. For years, I said yes to everyone. Favors, requests, endless small tasks. But I became angry and resentful. My own dreams suffered. Ironically, I became less helpful to those who truly needed me. That's when I realized saying yes to everyone is saying no to yourself. And if you abandon yourself, you eventually fail everyone else too. True generosity means saying no to most things, so you can say a powerful yes to the right things. Machiavelli said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." And you can't command others until you command your own time and energy. Drop this in the comments. I protect my resources. Truth number 5. Strategic virtue. I'm not saying abandon kindness, honesty, or generosity. I'm saying use them wisely, like weapons. A sword on a shelf protects no one, but in the right hands, it can save lives. Your goodness works the same way. Don't waste it on everyone. Use it intentionally. Be generous to the right people. Be merciful at the right time. Say yes when it creates real value. Say no kindly but firmly when it doesn't. Before you say yes, ask 1. Does this align with my values and goals? 2. Can I do this without harming myself? 3. Will this person truly respect it? If not, say no. But when you say yes, give fully. This way, your help matters. Your kindness is remembered. Your generosity builds respect instead of resentment. Strategic virtue isn't about being selfish. It's about being effective. In a world of wolves, blind goodness makes you prey. Strategic goodness makes you powerful. Drop this in the comments. I use goodness as power. Let me share something that will forever change how you see human nature. Gratitude doesn't last forever. The favors you do, the help you give, the sacrifices you make, people forget them over time. Gratitude has an expiration date. At first, people thank you with big smiles, but repeated favors stop feeling like gifts and start feeling like duties. Thank you so much slowly becomes, you should do this, and then, why didn't you do this? You help a neighbor move once, they're grateful. You help again 6 months later, they're thankful but less excited. Help a third time, they start expecting it. The fourth time, they don't even ask. And if you can't help, you suddenly become the bad guy. This is human psychology. People adapt quickly to good treatment. We start taking it for granted. What was once special becomes normal, and in the end, people remember the benefit they received, not the kindness behind it. This pattern shows up everywhere. Work, friendships, families, relationships. The person who always says yes becomes the one everyone expects to say yes. The reliable helper becomes the automatic choice for every problem. And when that person finally says no, people feel betrayed. The truth is, the more consistently kind you are, the less that kindness is valued. The more available you are, the less special you become. The more you give without asking for anything in return, the more people assume it costs you nothing. This is the illusion of gratitude. We think more good deeds equal more appreciation, but often the opposite happens. People you help the most are the ones who take you for granted. People you help less often are the ones who appreciate you more. This doesn't mean people are evil, it just means they're human. And humans adjust their expectations quickly. Machiavelli said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand." Everyone sees what you appear to do, but few remember what you have done. People don't carry your past kindness in their hearts, they judge you by what you're doing right now. Drop this in the comments. I create lasting impact. Now, truth number 7, results over intentions. The world doesn't care about your heart, it cares about outcomes. You may have the purest intentions, but if they don't create results, they don't matter. History doesn't remember nice people who meant well. It remembers people who achieved something. Ask yourself, would you rather be remembered as someone who was very nice but achieved little, or someone who seemed tough but actually changed the world? Most people choose nice because it feels safer. But here's reality. Being remembered as nice usually means not being remembered at all. Real goodness often requires choices that don't look good in the moment. Parents who discipline children may look strict, but they're raising stronger kids. Teachers who give tough grades may look harsh, but they're preparing students for the real world. A boss who sets high standards may look demanding, but they're building stronger teams. True goodness is measured by results, not appearances. Nice people avoid conflict. Good people face it and solve it. Nice people tell you what you want to hear. Good people tell you what you need to hear. Nice people keep things comfortable. Good people create real change. The world is filled with nice people who achieved nothing. What it needs are effective good people who deliver results. Machiavelli said, "The end justifies the means." This doesn't mean do evil things. It means your intentions don't matter if they don't produce good outcomes. People live with the results of your actions, not your motives. Drop this in the comments. I focus on outcomes. Now, truth number 8, legacy and survival. What will you leave behind? How will you be remembered? History doesn't honor people who were simply nice. It honors those who created lasting impact. Think about it. Can you name 5 nice people from history? Probably not. But you can name 5 people who changed the world, even if they weren't always pleasant. Steve Jobs wasn't known for being nice. He was demanding and often difficult, but he built products that transformed how billions live. I'm not saying you should be cruel. What I'm saying is this: being remembered for impact is far greater than being forgotten for being agreeable. Legacy requires survival, and survival demands more than just being good. It demands strategy, strength, and sometimes toughness. The kindest person in the world can't help anyone if they get crushed by people who take advantage of them. The most generous person can't give if they give everything away too soon. The most honest person can't speak truth if they're silenced by those who prefer lies. First, you must survive. Then you can grow. Then you can create the legacy you dream of. This means protecting yourself so you have the power to protect others. Building yourself up so you can lift others up. Getting strong so you can support the weak. This is not selfish, it's smart, it's not cruelty, it's wisdom. It's not abandoning goodness, it's preserving it so it can actually make a difference. Look at the people who have made lasting positive change in the world. They are not pushovers. They are not people pleasers. They are not afraid to say no, to set boundaries, and to make difficult choices. They understand one key truth. Being good does not mean being weak. Real goodness comes from being strong enough to choose goodness when it truly matters. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." What he really meant is this: respect matters more than affection. Impact matters more than popularity. Results matter more than feelings. You don't have to choose between being good and being strong. You can and should be both. But if you ever have to choose, always choose strength first. Why? Because strength gives you the ability to be good when it counts. Weakness, no matter how pure your intentions, only makes you a victim. We've covered a lot today, but here's the biggest lesson of all. Goodness without strategy is dangerous. It makes you vulnerable to manipulation. It drains your energy until you have nothing left to give. It sets up expectations you cannot maintain. And in the end, it stops you from creating the positive impact you actually want. But goodness with strategy, that is powerful. It becomes a tool for survival, influence, and real change. It becomes the foundation for a life and a legacy that truly matter. Now you know the hidden cost of blind goodness. You understand why generosity can trap you, why gratitude doesn't last, why good intentions without results are useless. But more importantly, you now know how to transform your goodness from weakness into strength, how to be kind with wisdom, how to help effectively, how to create results that last. Before you leave, I want you to decide something. Will you continue being good in the old way, blindly, without limits, until it destroys you? Or will you start being good in the new way, strategically, wisely, and powerfully? Here's the real question, the one that will shape your future. Will you let your goodness weaken you, or will you master it and turn it into power? The choice is yours. But now you have the knowledge to choose wisely. If this video opened your eyes, hit the like button. If you want more truths that challenge the way you see the world, subscribe and ring the bell. And if you know someone who needs this message, share this video with them. Remember this: your goodness is not your weakness. When used with strategy, it becomes your greatest strength. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I master strategic goodness. In a world full of wolves, don't live as a sheep. Be the shepherd. Protect the flock not with weakness, but with wisdom, boundaries, and strength. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.